Hey gang! So you guys saw me unbox a Fractal PC case a while back, and a number of you guys were asking what was going on with it. Well, I've put it together and I present to you how to build an audio PC for under 600 bucks. We're pretty fortunate these days. We've got access to technology that would cost tens of thousands of dollars even 20 years ago. It's pretty astounding what you can put together for not very much money. So what I've done here is put together an audio production PC and tried to keep the price down as low as possible. What's really happening is that I just upgraded my main PC to a Core i7-4790 at 4 gigahertz. I took my old chip and motherboard, a Core i7-950, and built a second machine out of that. Again, with the objective being to keep the cost as low as possible. Now, I understand our used Core i7-950 isn't exactly cheap on the used market, so I'm including a new parts list with a similarly powerful AMD chip at the end. So for this build, I've got a Fractal R4 case, the windowed version unfortunately, an Intel Core i7-950 with a matching Asus motherboard, a Scythe Ninja cooler, 8 gigs of RAM, and a Thermaltake 750 watt power supply, a 120 gig SSD drive as well. Now for graphics, I've dropped in my old GeForce gaming card, but this is hardly necessary for audio production. Unless you're planning on doing some serious gaming, and I'll be flying in Elite Dangerous this summer, by the way. You guys can find me online there. Don't bother with anything extravagant. Stick to an absolute bare bones video card. You won't need anything more. So enough yakking, let's build it. I'll put this next bit on time lapse and you can watch me put it together. All right, so I got the machine together, and honestly, the loudest thing on this PC is the gaming video card. If you, stop the fans for a split second, it's damn near silent. So yeah, for serious audio production, I'd recommend ditching the gaming video card and get something cheap in there with no big fan or cooler or anything like that. I'd also recommend getting the version of the case without the window, as it's slightly quieter still. For recording software, I'll be using Reaper because it just plain rules, and it's cheap. And it has a full effects suite built right in. If you don't have Reaper and you're curious, I highly recommend checking it out. You got nothing to lose. Now for the interface, I've borrowed a Tascam US1641 from my drummer friend TJ, who you guys have seen in numerous videos. They don't make it anymore, which is unfortunate. It has 8 mic preamps and an additional 6 line inputs. I would have loved to have something like this when I was just starting out. I started out with a couple of Delta 1010s. Anyway, it's a great way to get started with recording live drums. I've run a couple of tests with it with all 8 mic inputs going, and the latency is pretty much unnoticeable. But then again, I'm running it with Reaper, which has some outstanding live input monitoring, so there you go. Like I said, the US1641 isn't available anymore, but I'm sure there are lots of alternatives out there. The Tascam 1608 looks like an updated version and goes for about 300 bucks. For those of you freaking out about the video's title, I'm just talking about building the PC itself, just the hardware, not choosing an actual audio interface. That's for another episode. But I just wanted to see if I could get some decent results with the cheaper interface. And yeah, this machine handles it with no problems, and it's great because it works over the USB interface. Anyway, the preamps aren't exactly API, but they are clean and they have a ton of gain. You're not going to record a freaking masterpiece on this, but it will get the job done, and for not very much money. That's very cool. For those of you guys working in bedrooms or apartments, obviously you're not going to need all those inputs, as live drums are probably out of the question, unfortunately. So a 2 or 4 input interface is probably all you're going to need. So here's a parts list of what I used and a new modern equivalent with prices as of today. All prices are translated into US currency. Okay, once again, the total price for this is just for the PC hardware itself, not the interface or the software. However, a non-commercial Reaper license will only cost you $60, and it's as good as anything I've ever used in 15 years of recording professionally. So I just wanted to show you guys that yes, I can record live right into the second PC. You can check the interface back here. I'm using a Heil PR35 microphone into the Tascam, and it's a pretty good setup. For those of you who might be curious, I'm putting a review together on this Heil microphone, and it should be out in a few days, hopefully. It's a handheld mic that's just might be idiot-proof. Anyway, if you've got some comments or suggestions or questions, let me know, and maybe we can do a sequel to this episode at some point down the road. All in all, it was a pretty easy build, and I've used this particular chip in my main recording PC for about the last 4 years. It's more than capable for running a full studio setup, and these days it won't set you back that much.